Hey there! Today on Moser Makes, I'm going to show you how to make this clamp rack. I sized this rack so that it could be made from a single 4 foot by 4 foot section of 3/4 inch plywood. The rack is about 3 foot tall. At this size, it easily accommodates F-style and squeeze clamps from 6 inches to about 24 inches and can hold 36-inch pipe clamps on the side. Free plans are available for the clamp rack. Link is in the description. Now, let's jump in. I started by breaking my plywood down to size. Here are the pieces. There are 2 small pieces that will become the clamp shelves, 2 side pieces, and the top and bottom pieces. The remaining chunk will be the centerpiece, but we need a weight to cut this to its final size. This will make sense later. Next, I raised my table saw blade 1/4 inch up to cut a groove through the center of each side piece. Here's a trick to get the groove perfectly centered in the board. Set the fence to cut the outside of the groove, but intentionally set it a little short. Now, flip the board and cut with the opposite side of the board running against the fence, leaving the fence in its original spot. You can see that now I've established the outer 2 edges of the groove. Then I checked if my groove was wide enough, but here it's clearly undersized. It's better to cut it undersized and remove more material until the fit is right. Now I adjust the fence inward slightly and cut both sides again until I can sneak up on the correct fit. If that doesn't make sense, experiment on a piece of scrap wood before cutting your actual side piece. With the fence now set just right, I cut the 2 outer edges of the groove on the second side piece. The final step for making the groove is to then do a series of additional passes to remove the rest of the material in the center of the groove. Next up, I need to cut 2 dados on the top and bottom pieces. The purpose of the grooves and dados on these pieces is to make alignment and assembly easy, as well as to add strength. I'm going to cut these with the router and an edge guide. The table saw could have been used as well. Likewise, the groove in the side pieces could have been cut with the router, but I wanted to show 2 different methods. Since this plywood is slightly less than 3/4 inches thick, which is common, I'll use a 1/2 inch straight bit and make 2 passes to get the full width. For the second cut, I made a series of shortcuts until I got the fence on the edge guide adjusted right. Then I made the full cut. Also, for the first pass, the direction you move the router doesn't matter, since there's material on both sides of the bit. For the second cut, the direction matters, and that's in order to avoid making a dangerous climb cut. Looking top down, the router bit spins clockwise. We want to move the router against the rotation of the bit, allowing the bit to cut into the wood as we push it forward. This is kind of hard to explain, so I made this diagram to show the direction the router needs to move for this cut. Hopefully that makes sense. And with that, all the joinery is cut. The last thing we need to do is cut the centerpiece to fit. The exact size of the centerpiece depends on the depth and location of the grooves and dados. So by waiting until this point to cut it, we can mark or measure the exact size it needs to be and then cut to fit. To assemble it, I marked screw locations and fastened the pieces together with trim head screws. Glue could be added for extra strength, but so far I found it to be plenty strong without any glue. If I'm building something that's going to get sent out into the world, I like to overbuild and add more glue and fasteners than it may need. But for shop projects, I like to experiment. So here, I thought I'd try skipping the glue and seeing how it holds up over time with just screws. I think it'll do just fine. I added 3-inch swivel casters to the bottom. Now for hanging the clamps, the first thing I did was make a test piece to try out 2 different spacings. I spaced the first 4 slots 1 1/4 inch apart, and then the next 4 1 1/2 inches apart. All of them are 5/16 inches wide and set 3 3/4 inches back. Then I played with placing different clamps in and out of the slots. I found that either spacing could accommodate all my clamps, but I preferred the 1.5 inch spacing for a little extra finger room for getting clamps in and out of the rack. Now, I marked my actual piece for drilling and cutting. I started 3/4 inches from the end, and then marked every 1.5 inches. Before starting this step, make sure this piece fits inside the overall box to avoid an issue later. I drilled a 5/16 inch hole at each mark. Then I marked lines and cut out the remaining material between the edge and the hole. You can do this on a bandsaw or jigsaw. I think bandsaws are a joy to use, but I only have a tiny one. So for the cuts in the middle of the piece, I had to switch to the jigsaw. I drilled pocket holes for joining this piece to the box. I located the lower one 16 inches from the top of the box. Cutting a spacer from a piece of scrap makes it easy to locate the piece during assembly. It also prevents the piece from scooting forward when you screw it in, something pocket holes have a tendency to do. Besides the pocket hole screws, I also added 2 short screws into the side. I positioned the second piece 4 inches from the top of the box. You can play with the positioning if you need, but I found these spacings to work well. 24-inch clamps extend through both pieces, 12-inch clamps can fit on the bottom row, and 6-inch or smaller clamps can fit on the top row. I made some shelves for the back side to hold other clamps. I don't grab these right angle clamps very often, so I put them at the bottom. Also, I know I said the whole thing could be made from a 4 foot by 4 foot section of plywood, but in order to add organization to the back, you need to find some more wood. I used some scrap plywood for this. I think it's fair to say most people have some scrap wood lying around from previous projects. Can't just be me. What you put on the back is up to you. I added 4 cross pieces against the back wall for squeeze clamps, and then a cross piece lower down towards the front edge to hang other miscellaneous clamps. Anyway, here it is. The overhang at the top works for holding pipe clamps. In the future, it'll be easy to add different fixtures or additions to this. A glue caddy that sits on top may very well be in its future. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you're interested in building one yourself, there's a link in the description below to some free plans. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you think I have too many squeeze clamps, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.